Hi, this is Jenny Naslund, and I'm going to be giving you a quick tour of our personalized fourth grade math class. We created it in Schoology, and I just want to show you the layout of our course. So what we did is for each unit, we created a folder. We have 12 units in our math curriculum that we cover, and you'll notice that we have our unit objectives written in front of each folder so the kids know our objectives right from the start. Within the units, I'm going to pick unit 4 here, the kids would click on them and everyone would start the unit by taking a pretest. And if we click on a pretest, I'm going to show you an example. Our pretests are tied to our unit objectives, so which objective they are. And the cool thing is when the kids take the pretest, and if they get the question right or wrong, they get some feedback. So in this case, if you got it wrong, it would say you need to review lesson 4.1, or congratulations, you understand lesson 4.1. And we have a couple questions per learning target. And if the kids get any of the questions of that learning target wrong, they need to do that lesson. So even if they get one right and they get one wrong, they still need to do the lesson. And the kids would record which lessons they need to do in their learning plan. And I'll show you an example of our learning plan here. So let's say that they got 4.1 wrong. They would have to click it, and then they know that they need to do that unit of study. But let's say they get 4.2 correct, then they don't need to do that, that lesson because they got both questions on the pretest correct on that particular lesson. Once the kids take the pretest and they fill in their learning plan, and we do print copies of it for the kids instead of having an electric copy. We just have them in there for our reference and for theirs if they would lose theirs. Then they go ahead and start working through the lessons that they need to complete. Now, even if a kid potentially, let's say they pass through lessons 4.1 and 4.2 100% on the quick quiz or on the pretest, we still ask that all kids, even if they pass through the units, take the quick quiz. And the reason for that is it's just a really quick 4 questions, usually 4 to 6 question quiz. It's an informal assessment, but it's our way of double checking. Because a lot of times we got people saying to us, well, what if the kids just guess right? The quick quiz is our way of double checking that they didn't just guess right. They'd have to guess right here, and they'd have to guess right here, and then again they'd have to guess right in the final test at the very end of the unit. So the chances of a kid guessing right that many times are pretty unlikely. Now within the units, if we go into a unit, well, first off, sorry, I'm going to go back. I want you to notice we have the specific learning target for that unit written on the folder. And then we get into the unit, and this first sheet here is our homework and remembering sheet. This is the sheet that we got with our curriculum that the kids do. The remembering sheet reviews the skills. The homework sheet is our new skill. And if a kid needs to do the lesson, they need to complete both that homework and remembering sheet. We have different resources that the kids can use to complete the lesson. So the first one here, naming and measuring angles video. The very first video is our teacher taught lesson. So this is the video we recorded for the kids that they could use to watch us teaching the lesson. And we've had kids and parents access them at home. It's a great way for them to study. If they don't understand something, go back and hear the lesson again. And then we have other activities as well. So we have other videos they can use. We have some online activities, some games. We have some worksheets or hands-on activities they can do. So the kids get to choose which activities they want to do. The kids post their homework and remembering and the activity they completed in our discussion. And we have it set so they can't see everybody else's. They post it, and then that's how we can see where they're at. If a kid would not get 100% on our quick quiz, because that's our requirement, is that you have to master it, which would mean you'd have to get 100% on a quick quiz, they would go back and they would choose another activity to complete. And then at that point, if they take the quick quiz again and they're still not passing, that's our signal that they need extra help. So that's when we'd pull them into an extra small group. We'd meet with them individually. We'd have a volunteer work with them. Just to help make sure that they can pass it. And then they would try the quick quiz again, and hopefully with success, and they would pass it. So then they keep going. They do the same thing with our next quick quiz. And at the end, our final test, the kids have to get at least 80%. In most cases, our kids did get 80% on it. After they passed these 3 quick quizzes with 100%, then most of our kids passed with 80%. If a kid, and higher, a lot of kids did higher. If a kid did not pass with 80%, they only had 1 attempt on the final test, we would go back, we would re-practice, we'd relearn, we'd do some whiteboard practice, we'd do a bunch of different things with them until we felt they were ready, and then we would take that final test again. So that's kind of how we moved through our lessons. And again, we have it set up where we have multiple units. For the most part, we kept kids within the unit. You'll notice, I'll show you another example here. They go to a different unit. At the bottom here, this is a longer unit, we had our 5th grade book, we had our extension. So if a kid passed all the way through and they were flying ahead of the class, we had extensions that they could work on, and we would pull those kids into a small group together, and we would help them learn those skills that were covered in the 5th grade book in that small group. So it worked really well for us, and that's kind of a basic layout of how we structured our 4th grade personalized math class.